YouTube, and for those of you who are here live in the Zoom meeting, welcome aboard. We'll get started in just a minute. Actually, we'll give it about 4 minutes. As I said last week, we start at 10 a.m. every Tuesday, but we will wait until 5 minutes after to stop admitting students. And so for that reason, I will be careful not to jump right into today's lesson because I don't want to have to repeat it for those of you who are here on time. I'm looking at the names there, Gunnar. I just wanted to, I did grade your assignments and they're awesome, and so many of you have done just a great job on the assignments. I'm going to go over a couple of things, a couple of just kind of recurring issues that I found this week, really minor things, I think, but I want to make sure you understand them so that moving forward we can get them right. It is 2 minutes after, so I'm going to make an announcement because this announcement is for those of you who are here on time and those of you who are watching later. These Zoom meetings are not required. This is an asynchronous course, which means you can watch at your own time on demand, which is why we post it live to Facebook and YouTube. So that's all good. But for those of you who are here on time, I want to mention something that I didn't mention last week, and that is I give extra points if you turn your assignment in early. The definition of early in this course is Friday at 3 p.m. So some of you may have noticed that you got some extra points, and that's because you either submitted your assignment early, and this week, excuse me, this week was a little odd because we had a family illness, including me. My grandson Caleb got sick with this chest stuff and nose stuff and flu-like symptoms, and somehow he passed it on to me, and so this week I didn't grade all of the assignments that were in my queue. There weren't that many Friday at 3 p.m., but this week I'm hoping that you take advantage of the opportunity to turn in your assignments early. One of the things I've learned in teaching this course for the last 10 years or so, excuse me, I have to cough again. One of the things that I've learned, I just remembered I need to cough here, not here, and I'll go wash my hands, I promise, and I have masks too, but nobody's around. Anyway, it's a good thing we're not in class today because I'd be coughing on you. Sorry about that. So one of the things about turning your assignments in early that I learned early on is that in this course, Personal Finance, about 75% of all the students who take this course get an A. And then a few students get a little A minus, they miss it by a few points. Don't let that happen. You need 950 points to get an A. If you end up with 935 points, you're going to put me in a very difficult position because I'm going to want to give you a couple extra points, which really isn't fair if you didn't earn them. So I try not to do that, but I need you to try to pay attention to your points, because if you get close to 950, there's no reason you shouldn't get the full 950 and get an A. Again, about 75% of the students who take this course get an A, a few get an A minus, and then a few get a B, and then about 5 people out of 100 actually fail the course because they don't do the homework. So here's my advice to you A students, and I know all of you want to be A students, believe me. Every student who doesn't pass the course at the end of the semester, I hear from them and they want to be an A student, and I say, that's too bad, you didn't earn it and I'm not going to give it to you. I just can't do that. So the best, easiest way for you to earn an A in this course is do your assignments early, submit them early. You get extra points for that so that by the end of the semester you find that you have enough points so that you don't even really have to worry about attending the last session. And this is summer school, so it's kind of already compacted, and so just wanted you to know this is the best thing you can do to earn those points. Earn them early so that you can spend some time in those courses that are more challenging. Like, I know a couple of you are taking stats this semester, and that's a tough class. This really is not a tough class. There is a lot of homework, though, and I hope that the homework is helpful. I hope it helps you learn. Every homework assignment is designed to help you move closer to that big goal that I've created for the course that I hope you share, which is how to become a millionaire by the time you're 50. And you're off to a great start. You're learning some of the basic things that you need to learn in order to do that, to accomplish that goal. And so I'm really excited about seeing your comments, reading your stories, and you guys are doing a great job, and I appreciate it. So I'm going to go ahead and see if there are any questions for those of you who are here in the Zoom. Hey, Professor, I've been having issues trying to access the GroupMe for the class collaboration. If you can help me, I'll appreciate it. My number is, okay, Fiona, I will do my best. You know what? I'm going to ask you guys to check this link that I just put in the chat box. I guess that was just to Fiona. Let me do this to everyone. And just, I think this is the right link, and I don't know why it's not working, but I've had more trouble with GroupMe this semester than ever before. I'm sure it's something I'm doing, but that is the link that I just posted. That should be the link that's on the syllabus. It should also be the link that's on your page at Money Study Group. So, okay, any other questions? And if anybody could go ahead and check that link, Fiona in particular, if you'll check that link and see if it lets you in, I would appreciate knowing if that worked. And if it doesn't work, then you'll just need to shoot me an email and I can put you in using your email address. That's what I've been doing. But it did work. Awesome. Was that a bird? No problem. She sounds delightfully animated. I'm glad that link worked. Go ahead. I'm sorry. That is correct, and I believe, and they're due, always due, by 10 a.m., so that's a good question, good point. It's summer school, so, in order to get through all the content, I'm sure you're used to this, we have to double up on a couple of weeks. In fact, this week, this coming week, you will have 2 assignments as well. So I'm sorry about that, but that is the price of summer school. And so I don't know any other way around it. But so far you guys are doing a great job. I want to jump into, before I jump into this coming week's assignment, I wanted to take a minute to go over a couple of the basic things that I've found that we need to address. So let's see. So this has been a pretty regular deal, and it's screenshots. So most of you have done an awesome job just grabbing a screenshot. Clearly most of you know how to do that, and hopefully, all of you will need to learn how to take a proper screenshot. So taking a picture with your iPhone and putting that into your document is not a proper screenshot, and it will not be accepted moving forward. What I mean by that is I'll knock a few points off. So it's not the end of the world, but it is going to cost you some points. So learn how to do a screenshot. If you don't know, Google's a great resource, or ask a friend. I'm probably not going to be the one that's going to spend time teaching you how to do a screenshot, but you need to know. It's a tool that's very much used in every industry, in every job, and you need to know how to do it. So for those of you who took pictures, you got a comment, you didn't get any points knocked off this week, but you will moving forward. So please help me out with that. Take a good screenshot. And I see somebody chatted in. Yes, Gunnar, you have a question? You want to ask a question? Go. Yeah, no, Yeah, actually, the truth is I would rather not see your whole monitor. And depending on the tool that you're using to snip that screenshot, you should be able to select just what you need, create an image, pop it into your document. And so the answer to your question, Gunnar, is no, I do not want to see your whole screenshot. But if you're lazy and that's how you did it, you just took the whole screenshot, I'm not going to mark you off for that, but I certainly wouldn't encourage you to do it that way. It's lazy and it's not very, and yours I think were pretty good. I'm not even sure, but all I know is the screenshots that I'm getting, even the ones with the pictures, they're fine. They're giving me the information I need. With one exception, one student took a screenshot of the quiz in Money Study Group, and all I saw was the little green check on the quiz. It didn't show me the score. So that was the only screenshot that didn't suffice in terms of what it showed me. But good question, Gunnar. The answer to your question is, you can zoom in on just the thing that you need to send in the screenshot. You do not need to give me your entire desktop. I'm trusting that you're not sharing screenshots with one another. Obviously, that would be cheating, and if anybody got caught doing that, they'd face the firing squad at dawn, and that's just how that goes. So, good question. Any other questions before I move on? I appreciate your questions. Questions are so much better than me just talking. I used to always say talking to this little plastic camera, but I don't know if you guys notice. And again, I apologize for all the junk going on in my breathing and my coughing and my nostrils. But anyway, I got a new camera. It's not a plastic camera anymore. So still, though, I'm looking at this camera, and it's always nice to have interaction. And it's one of the drawbacks in my mind of online courses is we just don't have much interaction. So I don't put pressure on you to interact with me in these sessions, but I certainly do appreciate it. One thing I do put pressure on you to do in terms of interaction and class participation is the comments that you're leaving. Excuse me. So the comments that you're, like last week, your assignment was to leave a comment and tell me what you think about online courses, and that was great. You guys did an awesome job. The jury, if we took a poll, about 80% really like the on-demand online course, but some of us, and I'm one of them, really prefer the other way. There's lots of pros and cons, and I get that, but my point is, thank you for telling me what you think, and that's helpful. Now, one of the things I'm going to ask you to do this week, I'm going to put it in the assignment, is your comments this week for class participation. I would like for you, if you're comfortable, you don't have to do this. This is what I'm asking for. This is what I'm looking for. This is very valuable. There are two things I asked you in this week's assignment. I wanted you to think about 5 years from now. Where would you have to be 5 years from now to feel good about the progress you've made? So that's just a way of thinking about your future and putting yourself in a position to try to work on the vision moving forward. It's a helpful exercise. I try to do that with clients when I meet with them before I start to establish a financial plan. So you can imagine that the answer to that question is very practical, very helpful if you're in my position where your job is to help somebody create an engaging financial plan for their future. If I don't know what your vision is for your future, I'm not going to be a very big resource in terms of helping you craft an effective financial plan. So in this course, I'm asking you to help me craft your financial plan. You're given access in this financial planning tool, basically the same kind of access that I have as a financial planner. It's a powerful tool. And so through the semester, I'm going to be showing you how to use it. You've done a great job so far just building those data cards. And so that's what we're going to do in this semester, though. We're going to create a real living, breathing financial plan for you. And in order to do that, it's really helpful if you're very clear about what you want to achieve in your life, especially in a relatively short time frame. 5 years is a short time frame in the span of a life. So if you're comfortable answering that, some of you gave me some really interesting, good answers. That's a comment I would like to see you leave this week if you're comfortable. I'm so sorry. Let me take a drink of water. I'll try to make this a short one today so you don't have to sit through this stuff. I hear someone speaking. Anybody have? Sure. So the assignment was due at 10 a.m. So if you turned in the assignment without leaving the comment, then it's too late. However, just to clarify, Fiona, the instructions were to leave that comment about your preference regarding online courses. You were instructed to leave that comment either in GroupMe or on a Facebook comment under this video or on YouTube where you're watching this video. They're being streamed. This video is being streamed live to our Facebook page, also our YouTube page, and you have GroupMe as well. And then another way you can do it, and I saw some of you take advantage of this, is you posted it right in one of the comment sections in one of your in Money Study Group. So that's 4 ways you can leave these comments, and I don't care where you leave your comment. I just want to have engagement, and so sprinkling it through those, GroupMe is probably the last choice, because think about it. Next semester, the students who take this course will get to see your comments if you leave them somewhere like Money Study Group. So that's my number one preference, is leave your comment right in Money Study Group. But you can leave it on Facebook. The whole world will see that. That's okay with me, but you have to think about, is that okay with you? And the other option is YouTube. Again, the whole world will see that. I'm okay with that, but you have to think about whether or not you're okay with that. So you have 4 different places you can leave it. You can leave it in a comment in Money Study Group. That's my preference. Number 2, if you like to watch these live stream on Facebook, leave the comment under the video on Facebook. If you watch it on YouTube, leave it there. And if none of those options work for you, or you don't want it to be that public, then leave it in our private GroupMe. And if you don't have the link, we fixed that. So good question, Fiona. Thank you. You bet. So back to the... So there was one thing I did want to mention about comments, just basic comment etiquette. I noticed I was going through some of the modules in Money Study Group, and a student left a comment under one of the lessons that they were not able to get into GroupMe. So, I didn't erase it. I approved it, and it's sitting there. But let that be an example. If you're going to leave a comment that's going to be staying wherever you leave that comment, try and make it an appropriate comment and something that, will be helpful and beneficial for the next group of students who see it. If you're leaving a comment saying, hey, I'm having trouble with A, B, C, X, Y, Z, those comments should all go in GroupMe. That's what GroupMe is for. Don't leave those help me comments in other places. I don't think it will be an effective way to get help. The best way is to do it in GroupMe. If you have questions, issues that you can't get resolved, that you're having trouble with, especially like if you can't get into Money Study Group, shoot me an email. I'll get right on it and get you fixed up. So that's pretty much it for... the other thing, so this week you have 2 options for comments, and you might get extra points if you do both. But one is the 5 years from now. What needs to happen in your life to feel good about the progress you made? If you fast forward the clock 5 years, what needs to happen in your life to feel good about your progress? That's one. The other one is, what's your definition of a financial plan? A lot of you are already leaving those comments, and that's great. So you don't even have to do any extra work, but those are going to be in this week's assignment, just to post them somewhere. That's your class participation. You get 200 points, so don't miss the class participation points. And by the way, you need to be saving those screenshots for the class participation, because at the end of the course, if I deduct things from you for class participation, your first response should be, hey, here's my screenshots. I did this. I did it every week. And if you can give me 6 out of 10, that's good. But if you give me 10 out of 10, that's great. And I will give you all of your 200 points. Most of you won't even have to do that because I'm very generous. They call me the Skittle guy because I give points pretty freely. But at the end of the semester, those 200 points are going to be based on your participation. And so sometimes I don't get that exactly right, and sometimes students who are on the margin have to come back and say, hey, let's look at this again. And I'm always happy to look at it again, but I'm only happy to look at it if you do a little bit of work to show me why I should reconsider that grade. So for 90% of you, that's not even going to be an issue. For 10%, maybe. Okay, back to the game here. All right, let's go back to let's look at the assignments coming up for this week. So you guys knocked out the first week's assignment and the second week's assignment. Now we have due. Let's see what's due. So the due dates, if I get these right, let me pull my iPad close to my heart and see if I can highlight this so you can see it. I'm looking at my screen, so let's start with the assignment. So this is what we've got coming up. Budgets and anti-budgets in your first financial plan. So your actual assignments will be credit report and credit list, and first memories of money and a parental interview. So let's talk about those. So let me make sure you can see those. I should get rid of that. Let me get rid of that thing there real quick if I can. Boom. There, that should help, I hope. Maybe you can see that a little better. But those are the two assignments you have for this week. Let's look at the due dates to make sure I'm right. So the due dates for the parental interview will be 6/22. That's next week. That's next Tuesday at 10 a.m. That's my daughter's birthday. So yeah, I'll be in the office, but then I'll be at a birthday party. We had a birthday party for Caleb, my grandson, this last week. Next week it's my daughter Carissa. So that'll be fun. Anyway, those two assignments are going to be due on the 22nd. So I want to spend a few minutes and just talk about what to expect in these assignments so that you are ready to go. So the first one, the credit report and your credit list, you'll see this in Blackboard. It will be very clearly outlined in the instructions. But I want you to do a credit report on yourself. It's free, and you'll see a link to get that. And there's 3 different bureaus, credit bureaus, that you can use. You just need to do one. But college students are a very big target for fraud. And so your credit report is an important thing for you to start to pay attention to. And when I say pay attention, I mean you basically go and you get your credit report and you review it, and you're looking for mistakes, you're looking for surprises, you're looking for things that you don't understand or are just incorrect. And so that's the main purpose for doing this credit report. It's free. You will need to give them your social security number and your birthday. And so again, there are 3 different bureaus you can get: TransUnion, Experian, and I can't remember the other one, but there are 3, and the link that I send you to will give you all 3 of them. So the credit report, you're just going to review it. Now, I don't care to see your credit report. If it's easier for you to send me, they're going to give you a PDF. You'll download the PDF, and you'll want to save that PDF file. And you can mark it up if you want with questions and send it in with your assignment, and I'll see it. But I don't have to see it. I don't really want to see it. It could be personal. It's mostly just a bunch of stuff. But it is your credit report. I'm not asking you to send it to me, but I am asking you to convince me you did it. And that's easy to do. So you can either send me the report or you can tell me what you found on your report, which is, your choice. But in addition to the credit report, what I want you to do is I want you to create a list of your creditors, everybody that you owe money to, whether it's a credit card, a mortgage, a car payment, student loans. I want you to make a list of each and every creditor. So if you have 3 student loans, that's 3 different creditors. Excuse me. I want you to put the amount that you owe, when it's due, and this will all be in the Blackboard assignment instructions. But I want you to just give me that snapshot. You need to have that. You need to have a very clear, up-to-date, current list of all your creditors, when those notes come due, when you're going to have to start paying them, and that's part of this week's assignment. So that's your credit report and your credit list. That's pretty straightforward, and you'll get 50 points for that. If you turn it in by Friday at 3 p.m., you'll get 60 points for that. So please take advantage of that offer. The other benefit of turning your assignments in early, if I didn't mention this, is when you turn your assignment in early, if you miss something, if I deduct something, I send you back a comment, and you have an opportunity to change it, to fix it, to correct it, and to get the full points, even the extra points for being early. So please don't wait till the last minute. That's not what A students do, by the way. That's what I learned. That's what you taught me from the beginning, is that A students show up early and they give a little extra, and it always pays off. So I'm trying to encourage A students to be A students, and if you're like me and you're pretty much a C student, I'm trying to encourage you too. I really never was an A student, and so I appreciate the extra work that A students do. I was just not all that interested, and I worked full-time in college, and getting good grades. I was paying for my own college, and frankly, I had to balance my life. I was married, I had kids, I had a full-time job, and if I got a B, I was happy. But that's not true for you. I know that. You want an A. So if you want to get an A, turn it in early. It gives you lots of benefits, including not having to be here at the end of the semester because you have now time to focus on more difficult courses. You get feedback and you can fix it if you turn it in early. You don't get that if you turn it in on time. And you get extra points. So thank you for that. Okay, the next assignment that you'll do this week is really, it's probably the most important assignment you'll do this semester. And so I want to just talk about it for a minute before we wrap it up. And I'll answer any questions you have if you want to post those in the chat. But this next assignment, First Memories of Money, is a parental interview. It's an interview with either a parent or someone in that generation. It could be a grandparent. Some of you are young enough, your grandparents are still alive. But what I want you to do, it could be a parent, it could be a grandparent, it could be an aunt, an uncle, someone in the generation above you, though, not your roommate, not your sister, not your cousin, not your friend down the street. This is a parental interview, meaning either a parent or older. And so here's what I want you to do, though. I want you to think about that person in your family that you look to as kind of a money mentor, someone who you respect about the way they manage their life and the way they've managed their money. Or maybe they haven't, maybe you don't know how they've managed their money, because not everybody talks about that. But there's someone in your family, someone in your circle who you respect and you admire and you want to learn from. And that's the point. By selecting that person and doing this interview with that person, you have the opportunity to say to them, I want to learn from you. I think you're a wise person who can share something with me that can help me in my life. And just by doing that, just by selecting and communicating that to this person, gives you this special opportunity to pay them a very important and significant compliment. And so I want you to think about who you're going to go to and ask for this interview. The interview itself is very simple. It's not complicated. You don't have to worry about details. Just ask a few good questions. So one question I like to ask, I'll give you a couple of questions. The reason we call this First Memories of Money is because this question, more than any other question, I've found to be just, it's fun. It's a great way to learn something about someone. As a financial planner, it's important for me to be able to connect with someone when I first meet them. And so I want to connect with them and earn their trust. And so to earn someone's trust, it's helpful to be curious about them. And this question, for me, is incredibly helpful because it makes me curious. I always like to know, what is your first memory of money? So when you were young, maybe it was the tooth fairy, maybe it was your birthday, maybe it was your first job and the first paycheck you got. What's your first memory of money? Now, when my financial planner asked me that question, he was actually my mentor, not my financial planner, but he was a certified financial planner. His name was Rich Basillo. And when he asked me that question, what's your first memory of money? I remember to this day my experience. I started to think about when I was young. I was a paper boy, and I remember winning this contest, and it was a pile of candy. But it was my first memory of money that day, and it was full of emotion. It took me back to that time when I was young, and that's what I found happens when I ask this question to people. And so who knows what's going to happen if you ask that question, but it's just one question that might give you an inside look into the heart and soul and the kind of the life memories of this person that you select to interview. So I encourage you to think about using that question. It's a great question. Another question that I think is a great question is, what's your experience? Mom, Dad, Grandma, Grandpa, Uncle John, whoever it is, what's your experience, good and bad, with money and finances and investing? And just listen. That's all you have to do, is just sit back and listen. And some of your interviewees are going to say, I had a great teacher, I had a great mentor. Some are going to say, I started out with nothing and it was scary. And others are going to say, we worked together, your dad and I, my husband, my wife, whatever. And you're going to find your interview is going to be very specific to the person that you choose, but I get to read them, and it's an incredible range of stories about money and life and relationships. And so for you, it's just an interview with one person that you respect and admire, and it's a fun exercise. It should be fun, but here's a warning. For some of you, you're going to find out something that you didn't know, and maybe you get surprised when someone shares their pain with you. You think about that. There's a lot of pain in people's lives that relates to money and their experience with money, because money and relationships they're tethered. Okay, so you may ask some questions, and you may experience with this person some pain, some memories that are painful and hard, and maybe even some shame. And if that happens in your interview, your job is just to be a kind, listening, caring person. You don't have to fix anything. Just try to love that person. You selected them for a reason. And so I don't want you to go into this and then have some unexpected experience that turns really weird or bad. It won't turn weird if you're caring, if you're present. And so that's what I want you to do. I want you to have this experience. with this person who you have an opportunity to interview, to ask questions, and to show this respect to. So take that assignment, and like I said, it could be the most important assignment of this semester and this whole course, because this person could share some insights with you from their own experience that could really move the needle in your heart, in your mind, and how you think about money and how you think about personal finance and how you start to build your own financial plan as we move forward. So I hope you will take that exercise, that assignment, as it is. It's a kind of a sacred thing when you step into this arena, this place, this inner circle with people, and you start asking them questions that are very, very personal. And that's what you're going to do. And so good luck with that. I can't wait to read your reviews. You're just going to write a real brief summary of that and share whatever you want to share, whatever insights you got, and so on. And highlights and surprises. So have fun with it. It shouldn't be very long. The interview could be 10 minutes, 15 minutes. It's not an hour interview. It's not a 30-minute interview. It could turn into a great conversation, and I hope it turns into a great meal and a wonderful memory for you and the special person you selected. So those are your 2 assignments for this week coming up. I'm looking forward to seeing you again next week. And don't forget, turn it in early by Friday at 3 p.m. and you'll get an extra 10 points. We have 12 assignments, so that's 12 times 10 would be 120 points. That can really move the needle on your grade. And so I encourage you to do that. I appreciate your great work so far. And if you have any questions or issues that you can't get fixed in GroupMe, reach out to me and I'll be happy to help any way I can. You guys have a great week, and I'm going to watch to see if there are any questions before I hit the end button. No questions. Okay. I don't know what you guys are waiting for. Have you ever watched that? There's a Diners, Dives, I can't remember. No, it's the grocery. It's the food channel. The guy, they have this contest, and every time they get ready to start, he never says go. He just like says something to, let us know in the audience that he just gave them permission to go because the clock is running. And so that's what I'm kind of doing. I'm sitting here watching to see how long you guys are going to stay on this call, on this meeting, when it's actually over. But you're still here, and I don't see any questions. Oh, thank you. I see that. Thank you, Anthony. Thank you. Have a great week. Thanks for putting up with my congestion and such. I hope I'm 100% better next week. I think I will be. Okay, no questions, no comments, but you're still there. Fiona, have a great week. I hope the bird is chilling. Gunner, keep up the good work. You too. Jenny, I didn't get to hear from you, but I hope you have a great day. And Ray, you bet. Take care. Tiona, let's see, who else do we have? Sana, did I say that right, Sana? Hey, cool. Nice to meet you. Have a great week. Sure. They were due today at 10 a.m. So, yeah, the assignments, this week's assignments, though, you didn't need to be in Money Study Group to do the first one. So did you do the first one? Okay, well, what I would encourage you to do is just do all your assignments, turn them in Friday by 3. You'll make up those points in no time. Yeah, no, that's not for the Zoom meeting. That's not one of the options, because what you need to do is put a comment either in GroupMe, preferably in Money Study Group. Leave your comments there, or you can leave them on Facebook under this video or YouTube under this video, but my preference is to do it inside Money Study Group. But you can also do it in GroupMe. If you don't want it to be public, then just post it in GroupMe for the class. It's a private GroupMe. But no, don't do it in Zoom. Alrighty? You bet. You too. Take care. Bye.